Fear is a vital human response to any possible danger that finds its roots in human evolution. It is said that without fear, we would not have the ability to protect ourselves against threats that could possibly result in a life or death scenario, more so in the ancient world. Fear is also one of the main components of horror, my favorite genre of entertainment. Hi, I'm Julian Leal, a rising college freshman and 2023 ambassador for the RePicture STEM Career Accelerator. I love horror so much because it inspires unique creativity, such as my Halloween costumes in recent years. When it comes to instilling fear, though, I find horror games to be the most effective. They're the scariest medium of horror content because they put me in a driver's seat of sorts. I'm in danger. The monster's after me. Or at least, that's what it very well feels like when I'm behind the mouse and keyboard. Not yet satisfied with those available, however, I began to wonder, is it possible to have an even scarier horror game? A RePicture project write-up was the perfect opportunity for me to find answers. It was simple. I searched up horror game research paper, and I clicked on the first result. Of course, I didn't just settle on this one right away. I found several research papers, each one focused on different aspects of horror video games. Looking through this one, however, I was intrigued by its interdisciplinary nature. It promised a cohesive study at the intersections of design and psychology. It was also a great way to look at one of my hobbies from a STEM perspective. Above all else, it proposed an answer. The intentional implementation and combination of horror game elements make for a more frightening experience, especially through horror game design and narrative build-up. This paper inspired the title of my presentation, The House. The House is an original horror game developed by media technology students Tobias Arnell and Nikola Stojanovic at Södertörns University in Sweden. They developed it with the intention of testing and implementing horror game design theories and level design theories. They focused on these elements to create a clear picture for horror game developers, a group with the challenge of understanding, instilling, and enhancing fear in their audiences. The house was at the center of the study. It featured two levels. Level 1 was open and advanced, whereas level 2 was simple and direct. The former had open spaces that gave the player more freedom of choice, whereas the latter opted for a more planned, narrative-driven approach. Both levels featured the same horror elements, mainly auditory hallucinations and player manipulation patterns, leaving level structure and appearance as the variables. Following the study, Arnell and Stojanovic analyzed the data using the stimulated recall method by interviewing participants alongside footage of their gameplay. They asked general questions like, what did you feel at this moment? What made you go that way specifically? To gather individualized responses depending on the situation rather than initially introducing the situation. They also asked one extra finishing question for level 1 depending on its open level design. What impacted your navigation through different parts of the level? In terms of behavior and reaction, they observed no significant difference between both levels of the house, yet they realized participants often mentioned events created based on proven horror game theories and tense build-up. For example, a player might describe the ambiance of darkness, a common horror element, as particularly stressful if the game's monster's AI was designed around it. By constantly evolving the environment, the player does not know what to expect next, adding to the horror of the unknown. The house explored a potential way to enhance the human fear response and, in turn, satisfy my craving for scarier horror content. However, the scope of this study extends beyond that of the world of horror. While the manipulation of human physiological responses raises potential ethical concerns, the work of Nikola Stojanovic and Tobias Arnell has showcased the power of deliberate, STEM-backed storytelling, an asset to creative media anywhere. Thank you for your time.